Hello, everyone. I just put a smart ass comment up in the poll asking what day is better. And I'm like, Monday people, where you at? But I am, as usual, excited to do the Zoom. I've been planning this one planning, but not really. Like I've planned this topic for the last 2 weeks, but I purposely left it on the fly. Like I purposely didn't overplan my talk and didn't overplan my process of making all this stuff because I want it to be organic, because I think we need plans, we think we need structure, we need all this formality and stuff, but I think that leads to the overwhelm. And today's topic, whether you're watching live, whether you're catching the recording or tuning in on Spotify, which is really crazy to say, the message for today is overwhelm with feeding yourself. I think that that's something that isn't really talked about a lot, that adults deal with, a lot of adults deal with. Not even adults that have health issues that they have to change the way they're eating for and all of that. There's just such a shit show of things that go on that it's kind of a given that we just feed ourselves, but not really. Who relates to that sentiment? And if you're watching this, whether it's recording or live with your eyes, you know the deal. When I sip, you sip, we sip. So get your water bottle. Tell me a little bit before we dive into this stuff. And I'm going to get going. So I want to give you guys some time to type it out in the chat and I'll circle back. Let's kick off this discussion. If I were to ask you what the most overwhelming part of feeding yourself was, tell me what comes to mind in the chat. Type it out for me. As I get going with this stuff and making all these friggin' sides, text or type it out to me in the chat. Tell me about the overwhelm that comes with feeding yourself. And as you guys are typing that out, I'm gonna explain a little bit about, you guys can't see it, but I have so much shit on my counter right now. Yeah, this is on a stack of magazines, by the way, my computer. So, all right, what I'm thinking, we're gonna tackle the mystique of the palmini, because it's really not as scary as you think. Then I'm gonna make some low carb rice, some rice. We're gonna make some beans and cheese, some queso type of thing that I don't know what the hell, it's delicious though. We're gonna make a tomato and feta salad, Greek style, really easy. And I'm also gonna make some Kaizen pasta, which could be, you could swap out anything for this. So if you are watching and you have an almond allergy, Zen bee pasta is fantastic, and it can be used in place of this in the way that I make it tonight. So Zen bee pasta for anyone that's got an almond allergy. It's made from peas. My hair, I feel like I look like Pete Davidson with my roots growing in. So we'll get this all going. We're gonna start with, let me put the water on for the pasta and the rice. Hang on. So for the pasta, I have no specific amount of water. Come on, turn on beautiful but annoying oven. Okay. So that's great. My very expensive and beautiful oven likes to work sometimes and sometimes not. So I just put some arbitrary amount of water on there for the pasta. Whatever's flying above me is so loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it as loud from home, but like we never get planes overhead anymore out here, so it's like especially jarring. Anyway, for the rice, it says it right on the bag. For a whole package of the rice, it's just a cup and 1/3 of water. That's it. Cup and 1/3 of water for the rice. It's right on the bag. This shit's actually awesome, by the way. The rice, they have a bunch of different flavors. Honestly, my favorite is the Spanish version. The flavor and the texture is just like superb. A close second is the garlic and herb one. They're sold out of the Spanish rice flavor right now at my supermarket. It's like the hell they said here, they like add stuff to it. Like they add nut flours and stuff like that to like different kinds of like short grain rice. So it does have some carb in it. It's not like zero carb rice. Shirataki rice is great for this if you don't mind a little bit of the chewy texture. But white rice is the closest to regular rice I've ever seen. And it's extremely easy to make, and it's a lot lower carb. So for example, white rice has 40 grams of net carbs per serving. And for my diabetics in here, sometimes net carbs doesn't mean shit for us. So just keep that in mind. But white rice is at 39 grams and this is at 25 grams. So it's not like earth-shatteringly low, but it is going to shave off carbs, like a good amount of carbs when you factor in, you know, a bigger serving. And it doesn't, like, because I feel like it's so close to rice, it's like really close to rice, if that makes sense. This is going to be your most satisfying substitute I've found, at least. So all I did, or all I'm going to do is put the cup and the third on here. Once that's boiling, I'm just going to dump that bag of rice in there and then put the lid on top for 12 minutes. That's all. That's all. So boil the water, dump the rice in, turn off the heat and put a lid on it. Wait 12 minutes. That is all you have to do for that rice. Okay. I also got my water boiling for my pasta. And I'm going to show you how I make that really, really easy too. All right, let's see what you guys said in the chat here. All right, so my question was to tell me about the overwhelming parts of feeding yourself. And then we have here deciding what to have. So when it comes to, if you guys could expand on that. So deciding what to have, what goes into that decision for you? And what, like, what makes that overwhelming? If you could get to the root of it. Because it could be about taste, it could be about nutrition value, it could be about a lot of things. Right, food's on the fly. I get home from work so late, then meal prep and making dinner on top of being just tired and not wanting to make decisions. Making the decision about what to eat. I could stand in the cabinet for way too long thinking about combinations and second guessing myself. It's deciding what to have. It's whether I feel good enough to eat at all, let alone cook. It's if that texture doesn't sit well with me that day. It's swallowing issues. It's OCD telling me I'm going to choke. Yeah, so food doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun, right? So now when it comes to how it ends up panning out, how do you end up figuring out what to eat? Because you eventually eat, right? You gotta. So how does that play out? Tell me in the chat. As you guys are writing that out, I'm gonna make this Greek salad. So diner Greek salads or restaurant Greek salads are bullshit, to be honest. Like, there's no lettuce in a real Greek salad. A true Greek salad is actually called a horiatiki salad. And it is just sliced, like rough chopped cucumber, tomato, some red onion, sometimes some pepper if people are feeling froggy that day, olive oil, vinegar, oregano, chopped up, thrown in a bowl with some feta cheese. And that's it. That is a true Greek salad. So I like the diner Greek salads, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's really good, but I'm also like Greek, so I'm a snob. So there's only one feta I want any of you to promise me you will ever buy. If you're going to call it feta, it's got to come in brine. It's got to come in a package of some kind where there's some liquid in it. It's not vacuum sealed, dried out like a cinder sitting in a refrigerated aisle. So if you can see, it comes pretty full, right? And there's a nice solid chunk of feta in there. So let me just bless you with that information. Don't waste your time with dried feta. I gotta watch this again because OCD, so hold on. Okay, so this tomato's a little soft, but oh well. Another thing you guys gotta think about is it's like the season of freaking flies because we've been leaving windows open. So the biggest thing you want to think about is the texture of whatever it is you're chopping. you know, if you're just gonna chop it into a big ass chunk, you ever order a salad from a pizzeria? They give you a half a fucking carrot in there, and you're like, I don't even want to eat this salad. It's just dry with like some package of salad dressing. We take salads very seriously here. So I'm a fan of cutting skinny strips. A lot of times you'll see me, I use like the veggie peeler if I'm working with a cucumber or like a root veggie of some kind. I turn them into ribbon, or I'll dice it up really small, or I'll cut it really thin like I am trying to do here, but it's the texture of fucking pudding. Definitely let this tomato sit too long. But if you can see, like it's not too thin, not too thick. Just throw that in your bowl. My feta. Okay, I was wrong. It's 2 big solid pieces of feta, but you can see, right? So then I'm going to cut these about the same thickness. Super freaking simple. This is oregano. We get oregano dried on the plant still, and then just peel it off of the branches and stick it in a jar because it's a lot better tasting. But like I said, we're snobs, so you do not have to do that. You can just get the bottle of oregano and you'll probably be fine. This is a little bit of extra something I like to throw in there. Capers. I freaking love capers. I don't know how to describe the flavor of them. I've tried. It's like they're salty, vinegary little boba bombs, honestly. Like they're like, it's like if you were to think of a pickle juice boba, essentially, but not as like jelly-like, like more veggie firm. I don't know. They're delicious. Then just drizzle some vinegar, sea salt, extra virgin olive oil that is a dark green. I recommend the Athena brand. Again, I am a snob. This is just the bottle that I saved. It's not, you know, the brand is Athena. I'm obsessed with it. It should be a dark green. Never trust an olive oil that's super light. Okay, so that's it on the salad. It's just chilling. Sorry, I walked away. The water's boiling for my pasta. So I got about a half a bag here. I'm just gonna throw it in. Water is almost boiling for the right rice. And then I'll do that. Put away my stuff. In culinary school, if we didn't clean as we went, we'd get marked down or we'd get our hand hit with with a whisk. I promise you. It was an interesting experience. I'm a grown woman, you know, weird, but. Okay, so we're gonna put, almost ADD, forgot. We're gonna put a timer on for 8 minutes for that pasta. All right, and then I'm gonna dump my rice in here. Turn off the heat. Where's my lid? Lid on it. For this pasta, I don't know if it actually works. I don't know why it works, actually, I should say. But I put, have you guys heard, if you put the wooden spoon on the stovetop over there, like if something's boiling or whatever, if you put a wooden spoon on top, it keeps it from boiling over. I don't know why it works. It freaks me out. So hopefully the handle of that wooden spatula works just fine. But babe, could you put a 12-minute timer on? $1,000 phone that can't have 2 timers going on at once, you know? So, I mean, I could have set it for a timer time. You know what I mean? I don't just want a quick countdown. Can't be bothered. All right, what do we got next? I'm going to do the beans. I'm going to get those started. And then before I get to the palmini, which is our final one to start, if you've seen within 15 minutes, we're almost done, right? In between palmini, I'm going to check out the chat. All right. So for the beans, super ridiculously easy. So I love this brand, Philos, whatever the hell it is. It's great. They have all different types. This is the only one that we had in store. It was Puerto Rican pink beans. Amazon has all a bunch of different flavors. So what you do, how did I make this? Vent A. Okay, so you just rip it up, vent it on the top, and then it says you microwave for a minute. Microwave it for a minute. I have some shredded Mexican style cheese here. When that comes out, I'm going to pour it right on top of here. And that's it. It's really, that's it. You'll see it comes out so much better than I'm making it sound, but now I'm going to take that pasta out. I'm not going to strain it. I'm not going to pour it. Those of you watching who have pots or have temperature issues, it's especially good to do it this way because I don't know about you, but nothing sucks more than having to pour out a steaming, boiling hot pot of pasta into a strainer in the sink and having the entire contents of the steam like rise up like in a fury at you. So nice long handled slotted spoon, just take that shit right out, put it in a bowl, and you're good. All right, so Christ, okay, that the fury of steam will still come up at your face. So oh, it's hot. Oh my God, really? It's from DHgate, let's be honest. Okay, so got my bowl of beans. I'm gonna cover it with the cheese. And then just put like a paper plate or something on top to keep the heat in and put it off to the side. When you're ready to eat that, just microwave it up again for 30 seconds. When you mix it all together, it turns into this like fantastic queso-like dish. It's really good, really good. It's a dip on its own, delicious. Okay, so the fun part. Kind of want to wait till my timer's up for the pasta. Let me read these and I'll get that pasta out of there and then I'll do the palmini. Okay. One of my problems post-COVID is always wanting to order takeout because it becomes such a thing, but it's harder to control ingredients. With ADHD, I get all gung-ho buying all these ingredients, then don't feel like I have the time or desire to make it, especially depending on what I'm craving or not, how hot it is, blah, blah, blah. I end up eating the most basic combination of 3 or less ingredients. It's beyond boring, but it's food. Last night was base culture sandwich, ham and cheese, that's it. It was fine and edible, but nothing exciting. I usually eat a handful of nuts or make sure I have a protein shake on hand. I used to skip meals a lot, but now I'm mindful that I need to eat throughout the day and not just everything and anything at night. Okay, so from all of this stuff that I heard, I broke down what I think the most common overwhelmed things we hear are. And one, texture and flavor, thinking about like how to create a flavor or what you're in the mood for, you have no idea what you want to eat. Timing / waiting till hunger already is there or until the kids need to eat and it's just chaos and you feel pissed off having to make everybody happy. Confidence in the kitchen, fearful that your efforts are going to be for nothing and you're going to be exhausted. And then the expectation for greatness when you just need to friggin' eat. I feel like that can encompass a lot of this stuff, right? And I think the biggest thing is what's good enough for right now. I think we put so much power into food's ability to comfort us when there's a time and a place for comfort food, But beyond that, a lot of times is like the food we can make can still be comforting. If you're going to make some boring shit, yeah, no, that's not going to be comforting. But if you're going to figure out a way to make something you're like you're excited to eat because you throw it together, 5 different ingredients you have laying around your house, it doesn't always need to be a Zagat rated meal. It doesn't always need to be a restaurant quality meal, because half the time when we order takeout, we're not even ordering exceptional things. We're ordering easy things. So the flavors you make, as long as they're not disgusting and it's easy and you throw it together, trust me, sometimes it's like anything with dopamine driven stuff, like with ADHD, with depression, things like that. It's just that first step of getting the ball rolling. Once you're in it, and you guys can probably attest to this, once you're actually doing it, it's so much easier to do. It's just that initial step. So I have a few tips. Sometimes just think to yourself, calories are calories. If you're not in the mood to eat anything, then stop trying to think of what will sound good and just think of what has the most calories in your house right now that you could just eat and move on with your day. Don't look for deliciousness. Don't look for enjoyment. Don't look for anything other than sustenance. If you were outside and you hadn't eaten in a week and there was something dangling on a fishing line in front of you, you'd eat it, right? Now, I know I'm not dismissing like the mental side of this, but I think it's important. I have to remind myself of that. When I get into the snowball of being pissed off that I don't like anything I have, I stop and I'm like, what's going to be the fastest thing to get some calories down my gullet that isn't going to screw me over for a week after this? And then I'll just have eggs, like scrambled eggs, and I'll have some sugar-free ice cream from my freezer, or some pasta's done, some chicken chips, something. I keep a lot of shit around, because then I'm like, I just get, do you remember the Zoom I did called tokens? Treating calories like you're collecting tokens in a game. That really is all that it is a lot of times, especially when you have appetite issues, when there's, overwhelm and things like that. It's just, and honestly, once you eat something, the overwhelm kind of dissipates. That response is there because it's a stress response. That's not anything other than a stress response. So that mind fuck that you experience when it comes time to eat, a lot of that is also hormonally driven. So just think of like, what calories can I get down my gullet? Hang on. So pasta, slotted spoon. I turn the heat off and let's scoop it in a bowl. This is the Kaizen pasta. This one does have almond flour in it, but it's very low carb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my bowl of pasta. These ingredients I use pretty commonly. You see it in my stories a lot, right? Garlic salt, sesame oil, gluten-free soy sauce, red pepper flakes. Okay, so I'm going to take my garlic salt and I just sprinkle it across the top. I don't measure. I just go across the top. You can add more if you need to. It's really hard to make something taste terrible with using garlic salt, to be honest. Salt can sometimes be a lot. So gauge for yourself how salty you like it. You can also use garlic powder and then control your own salt that way. I have an issue. I love salty food. So I'm going to add a little swirl of the soy sauce. Sesame oil, do not use a lot. Build until you know how much you like, because this shit tastes like BO. Honestly, like it smells like BO, which makes me feel like it's BO if you do it in excess. I can't even describe it. You'll know exactly what I mean. In like a few drizzles like that, you're fine. It's delicious. It really helps elevate the whole thing. But anything beyond that, some of this, some red pepper flakes. I have some grated cheese here. Get a spoon, so I'm just gonna freaking throw this on here like a gavone. And then what you do is you go back and you take some of that pasta water and you wet the cheese so that it gets warmer. I like to do a little drizzle of olive oil. And I'm using a knife to do this, whatever. I don't feel like stopping for a spoon. This took like what, 10 minutes plus the boiling? Not even. That's done. Let's get on with the show. Let's make this palmini. Okay. I hate when, I don't want to say I hate because that sounds really like I'm mad and I'm not. It kills me when clients try a substitute type of thing like palmini or shirataki or whatever. And a lot of you guys have done this too. You told me you made it. I'm like, no, we're going to make it again. We're going to make it together, right? I'm so thirsty. Sorry. So I probably told you like, okay, we're going to make it together. And it's because like, I've learned there's so many tricks of the trade when it comes to the texture of things. And if something is made like a sad, wet noodle, it's always going to be a sad, wet noodle. So I hate when people get like, they try it the wrong way. It's like taking your friend to your favorite restaurant the day that they have a new chef there and it sucks. And every other time you've been, you've loved it. So that's what I think about palmini. It's intimidating, but here's the thing. It ain't pasta. That is the thing I wish that I could just like scream from the rooftops. It's not pasta. It's never going to be pasta. We don't need these substitutes to replicate the thing that makes us sick so much that we completely forget it exists. That idea is what causes binges. That idea is what makes people really disappointed in all of the delicious alternatives that exist out there. This is not going to ever replace a beautiful pile of fettuccine. But that doesn't mean that this can't be another absolutely delicious side dish that doesn't have to have anything to do with gluten or health or hormones. It could just simply be a delicious side dish without having to have the identity crisis of also being pasta, which is made from flour, not hearts of palm, which this is. That's not your fault, that's marketing's fault. I think that the idea is that if they have enough people buy just one package the first time because they're excited, that's enough to grow. But I mean, it does it no justice. Hearts of palm are great for us, and it's really, really good. Like it's a plant. It's going to taste like a plant, like a vegetable. It doesn't have to taste boring by any means. The texture is really great on it because it's firm. It doesn't turn to mush when you cook it. I just could be a Hearts of Palm cheerleader all the time. I love it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump it into a strainer. Give it a little rinsey rinse. Damn, it's a lot of water. Oh shit. Sorry. Just dropped half my palmini in literally in the sink. Okay. So here's the other half of the palmini that I didn't drop in the sink. Okay, so you're just gonna let that chill there. Now, I got my garlic. You can use jarred, like minced garlic. It's just not the same. So all I did was whack the clove, big thick knife, blade downward. So that's like on the cutting board, and hit the back of it. And that just kind of pops it out of the little shell. Oh, shit. How do I get out of? Sorry, messed my screen. Okay. So once you have that all crushed up and out of their little shells, you're just gonna take them and do like a rough chop. So tip of the knife on the board. Don't do any of this shit. Put that finger away. Do not extend your finger on the edge of your knife. You hold the handle here. You pinch the end of the blade here, right? So you have full control. Hand wrapped around, other hand holding this down. And if you notice, I have my hands like this, so that the knife never goes towards my hand, the blade, I should say. So then, without ever picking the tip of the knife up, you're just going to pick the back side. And you're going to push the garlic through with your other hand. Okay? Don't be brave and try to cut it down to the last little nub, because then you're going to go over it with your hands over here. Go back over the garlic and make sure it's really minced. No one likes chewing on a big chunk of like maybe burnt, maybe raw garlic. Chop that up so that you feel like you're going to smell this out your pores in 2 days. You won't, but that's about the level of pungency we're going for. Okay, so you got that ready to go. I have some butter here. I have some more keepers here. Get cheese for after. I have my little secret for making the sauce thick. This is cornstarch. We're not going to use a lot. It's not high in carbs. We're only using like a quarter of a teaspoon. And then I got a lemon. All right, so get your pan. Regular old salt. Oh shit, I didn't move the computer screen. Hold on. I really just need a film crew. That's really what I need, I think. So regular old saute pan. You know, argue with your oven until it decides to turn on. Okay. Again, I'm just going to take a drizzle of olive oil. While that olive oil is heating up, because you don't want to put anything into a cold pan, number one rule. We have our white, keep doing that, white rice. See? So I'm just breaking that up. You know what? This would probably be good with chunks of feta in here too. And that's a lot of the times, like I make the same shit and I dress it up. So these base side dishes, if you have, like when we're trying to figure out what we want to eat, we're like, what sides do we have? We think what's in the cabinet. I might be a little funky sometimes. I might put some sliced tomato in here. I might put some extra feta. You know, I might think with the palmini, like what other sauces do I want to make? What other flavors am I into? The base is always the same, so that's easy and it doesn't take a lot. Like I'm not trying to make fancy like recipes every day. If I plan one, I'll do one every few weeks, but the same ingredients, I just change around the flavors. All right. We have our rice. So I'm going to take my strained palmini noodles. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped a step. You got your oil on here. What the frig am I actually doing? Hang on. Before there's a friggin' oil burn, I'm gonna bring the garlic to the pot, to the pan. How about that? So just drop the garlic in. Freak out, you drop garlic on the floor and your dogs are gonna eat it. Yeah, I got it, don't worry. And then you're gonna put your noodles in. Because this is minced and your oil is pretty hot, you don't have to cook it that long ahead of time. I'm gonna dump my noodles in there. Lower your heat to about medium. Tongs are my favorite for this. Move it around the pan. You're gonna cut your knife, cut your lemon. Oh, we're doing a whole lemon. You're gonna take this. Here. I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. I did about 3 drizzles on that one time that I did. Dude, can you come look and see? I think I dropped more garlic and it's freaking me out. You just do a double check before one of the Roombas is on it. Okay, so that's in there. I'm gonna take my capers. And then a little bit of that pasta water. You can use regular water, it doesn't matter, but I figure while I got it, might as well. Okay, so now mix this up. Thank you. Say hi.
Hi.
The joys of an open concept kitchen. All right, so right now this has got like a good amount of like runoff liquid there, right? So what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna put some of this liquid in a little bowl. Oh my God, all the pasta's gonna fall out. Okay. You put some of the pasta in a bowl. You take this cornstarch here. You take 1/4 of a teaspoon, add it to that, and then mix it really quick. Like add it to the little bowl of liquid. I'm gonna do another 1/4. I want it a little bit thicker. It's up to you. It's still gonna look liquidy. This will thicken as it cooks. So once you have that added, and there's no more lumps, you're gonna throw it back in. And then cook the palmini noodles a little bit longer in that. I cannot stress using enough salt enough. The reason you like restaurant food so much is because it has a literal shit ton of salt in it. Do not be shy with the salt. And before you're like, oh, the salt is bad, it makes us puffy. You're absolutely right. Imagine how much salt is in your food when you get it from a restaurant and it's absolutely delicious. A shit ton. That is what I learned in culinary school. If you understood the amount of butter and salt that's actually used, it would be like horrific. I do know how much is used. I still love it, and I'm alive. Okay. So it's gonna cook off. That's it. When that's done in a couple minutes, I'm gonna add some of this cheese to it. Bob's your uncle. We got what? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 side dishes done with me yabbering on and bullshitting and reading answers and stuff like that. And it's been probably about a half hour tops. What do you guys think? Let me see here what you guys are saying. Cheese squares or sticks are my go-to. Awesome. Or Lara bars. Lara bars have a shit ton of sugar in them. They're delicious, but they don't serve us the best because unfortunately they have a shit ton of sugar in them. Not that that's like bad or shameful or anything. I used to eat like 3 lemon Lara bars. I think it was lemon Lara bars like every day. Loved them. But we can discuss, there are a few alternatives. I wish there were more good like fruity bar replacements. But there are some good options on nutrition. Legendary Foods makes those Pop-Tart type of bars that are really good, tons of protein. Air fried pepperoni, yes. Yep, love that, Jen. The air fried pepperoni chips, they're so easy. That would probably be good with like the bean side over here. I like spaghetti squash as a pasta substitute. Spaghetti squash is great. It's also got fiber, which is really good for us too. All right, so this is done. So when it comes to overwhelm with feeding yourselves, I basically got you guys to talk about it and then I cooked and that was it, right? But I think a lot of it is the mindset of just putting so much thought behind it. It's not that's why you're getting overwhelmed. It's understandable. Keep ingredients around, throw that shit together, and trust me, if there's enough salt, there's some lemon juice, there's some vinegar or something, some seasoning, like some garlic salt, like there's not a lot you can't make taste good. I'm not gonna lie to you. And here's the other thing. You have coaches for the next however many months, whether you're in CCA or you're in KGG, KGG2, whatever the hell it is. You have people who are dying to help you with stuff like this. So if you're like, I have nothing to eat. If you've watched this and I've done this with you, please talk about it in the chat. My favorite thing to do is play Chopped. My favorite thing to do is let's throw some shit together. I prided myself, like there had been a point in time where I lived off of just like canned food and I like food. So I had to make it fun still in some way. Like there have been times where I had to ration like insulin or food. So my food really mattered. In college, how I got by with home cooked food. I don't know if I told you guys this. I made friends with the guys that were in the dorms next door that had kitchens in their dorms. And I told them, hey, I have my car on campus. I will bring you guys to the grocery store. You tell me whatever dish it is you want me to make you. I'll make you some as long as I can take a container home for myself. So this way I just ate really good food. When I went to other people's houses in college, they'd be getting like shithouse wasted. And my favorite thing would be to wait until everyone got wasted enough for no one to care if I cooked in their kitchen. I was also drunk. And I always like, they'd be like, I'd be like, can I make some food? And they'd be like, I don't have anything, which were like magical words for me to hear. I took it as a personal challenge. I was like, yeah, bet. Okay. You double dog dare me to make something you'll eat? And I'd make great shit. I know not everyone is like that, but what I am saying is use me, pick my brain, because I love the challenge of putting food together. It's a lot of times it's like fun and you end up making something you're surprised by. And the overwhelm gets easier the more options you have. So it's almost like pushing through that overwhelm to develop your running 5 or 6 things you make. That's normal. It's not normal to have a new thing every single day. Even if we want that, unless you're Mariah Carey, this shit ain't gonna happen, you know? So, but pick like 5 things that excite you and put variations to it. Make sure those are stocked in your cabinets. And if that all fails and it's something deeper or something outside of those parameters, contact us so we can help you. It's not defeat. You're not losing out by not knowing. I want to be a show off, so let me just arrange the food that we made in like no time. So in like a half hour, you know what? I'm going to post this picture all nice on the Facebook page because I got to reheat some stuff that I made in the beginning. So I hope that this was helpful. Did you guys find this helpful? Before we jump, tell me in the chat. Do you feel like this helped you feel more at ease? Are you surprised that I whipped together 5 different side dishes? Get out of here, you little bottom feeders. These dogs make me so anxious when I cook. So here's the palmini, by the way. It's not watery. You know, the shit's not like dribbling off the sides. It all like absorbed all the goodness and all the flavor. And again, it ain't pasta, but it's delicious. I wouldn't go the marinara route with it. I wouldn't go the Alfredo route with it necessarily. I would just create, I forgot to add the butter. put some butter in that shit too. It'll be good. Just make it taste good. Just throw things in it that typically taste good. And whatever your end product will taste good. I promise. So, find it helpful? Favorite parts? You know I'm a feedback queen. So before we jump, tell me in that chat. Anyone confused over anything? Want some more clarification? Give me that good in the chat. Most surprising parts of tonight. Tell me your thoughts. I know not everybody's sitting there not knowing what to type. You just watched me babble on for 40 minutes. So let's see in that chat. Looks good, just have to buy it. Yeah, it's kind of amazing because it's like we used to have just one cinder block loaf of bread or like box of pasta that you had to drive 20 minutes away and pay $15 for. Like that was the gluten-free world before. With stuff like this, you don't even need to go like a gluten-free replacement route. Like hearts of palm just happen to be gluten-free. Tomato salad happens to be gluten-free. Like there's so many options as long as you're just keeping the stuff on hand. Excited to try. I have a lot of these ingredients already, but I didn't even think of them as a side dish. Hell yeah. And experiment, throw it together. You know, like on a Sunday, if you're just sitting around, just be like, I wonder what that would taste like and go throw it together. A part of my notes here I didn't say is watch TV food shows. Like watch food TV shows. Came out like Yoda. So watch shows about food. Like on Netflix, there's so many good ones. You know, watch other people be passionate about flavors and combinations. I always recommend the name and I always mess it up. What is it? Like salt, fat, acid, heat. I think that's the order, but it's on Netflix. It's actually from the writer of the same titled book. And it's such a cute series, it's like 4 episodes, I think. And it teaches you the different facets of creating a balanced dish with salt, fat, acid, and heat. And the person, I forget her name, travels around the world to go like, you know, embellish on this. And it's just such a delicious show. So have fun, you know, start expanding your horizons in what you're seeing other people combining and creating. You're going to try some stuff that you hate. You're going to try some stuff that you love, but you'll come out of it with a lot more options and just a broader expansion of food and flavor. I love palmini so much. Palmini is like, if you think of a zucchini noodle that doesn't get mushy, it's like a zucchini noodle that stays firm. And it has like kind of a, I can't describe the taste. It's not a prominent taste, but it's a taste. That's why it goes really well with like lemony based kind of sauces or, you know, preparations, because it is a little bit like fresh tasting. I don't know. I enjoy watching you cook. Oh, thank you. It gives me ideas that I want to try. I'm also surprised that everything you share is so easy. It has to be easy. Easy. I will not, like the whole Pinterest jump to the bottom for the recipe kind of meals, like those are great, but those are special occasion kind of things. Those are things I'm planning on trying or I'm excited to try, you know, like stuff like that. That's not common. If I had to feed myself using online recipes every day, I would, oh my God, I wouldn't want to eat, you know? So I buy the same shit and I combine it with different things. That's really it. If it's got good texture, it's got good flavor, that's the battle. I want to read the book so bad because the series was great. It was just so like, I don't know. It was like, I felt like it was like if Nancy Meyers created a cooking show, that's what that would have been. Like, it was just a feel good kind of show. Oh my God, this poor sweatshirt needs to go in the wash immediately. I love that. I love zucchini noodles, but I get really weird if I feel like the zoodles are nearing their shelf life. Yes. or when they release a lot of liquid, zucchini, cucumber, tomato, they're all hygroscopic vegetables. So they release a lot of liquid, especially if you're adding salt or you're adding heat. That's why tomatoes make beautiful tomato sauce. There's just so much liquid. Look at the bottom of this you saw I didn't put that much liquid, right? But just letting the tomatoes sit, that's a lot of tomato liquid. Now, before you get grossed out, when I mix this all up and I break the feta down and I mush the tomatoes around, I mix it all together. These are a little past their prime, keep that in mind. But the flavors combined, it's not mushy and slimy and gross. It's just, they release a lot of liquid. So you either got to work with something that does that, like in a salad like this or a sauce, or don't have the expectations of anything sticking to them. Like wet zoodles and stuff that releases a lot of liquid, nothing ever sticks to them, like tomato sauce and stuff, and that's what makes them gross. For that's why you want to go like the cornstarch citrus route. So I hope it helps. Okay, this is so much fun. I love cooking with you guys. I'm trying to plan one that's going to be like a dessert one. I just want to make sure I don't take forever to do it. So that'll be coming up in the next few weeks or so. If you have any questions, if you want to talk about anything further, shoot me a text. I'll be getting back to all texts as I'm catching up from last week. I'll be getting back to all texts tomorrow morning. So enjoy the rest of your night. And I don't know, enjoy. I'll put a picture up of all the food. I wish you could be here to try some, but bye.